What's going on, everyone? It's the People's Envoy Updog here with you, and today I got a special guest, GideonXL. What's going on, Gideon?
What is going on, man?
Thanks
Glad
for
to be here. What's going on around here?
thanks for being on here, man. We are gonna go over Gideon's origin story. I haven't done one of these for a while, but I figure he's one of the newest envoys in the envoy program, and I don't get a chance to talk a lot to you, so I figure use this time to get to know you a little bit better.
Yes, sir. We could do that.
Thanks
we could do that. Like to get to know about you too.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man. Appreciate it. So I guess we'll start with some of the game stuff. How many days have you played Marvel Strike Force?
All right, I wrote it down. We got for the main account 2,366.
Very nice. Very nice.
Main there.
All right,
And the baby's been going since like January. So
okay. All right, not bad, not bad. So you've actually played more. I'm looking at mine here. You've actually played more than I have, so that's awesome. More days, rather. Yep. So awesome.
we tried to get in there on the. I don't know, when I got the notification, you know how it is.
Yep.
The game tells you there's a new game, or your phone tells you there's a new game out. Got the notification.
Yep.
I don't know how close that was to the actual launch date, but we know that it was early.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So have you did you take any breaks during that time, or has it just been logging in every single day over those 2,300 days?
Pretty much just been logging in. It's possible that I missed something here and there. It wasn't intentional if that was the case, if I missed a day, but I didn't take any breaks in the sense that I put the game down and wasn't planning on playing for a minute.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. That's impressive. That is
Most
very impressive.
impressive.
Yes. So how about the chat before we started streaming, or before we started recording here? Chat was asking what your origin of your name is, GideonXL.
All right. So it's not Moff Gideon, although again that would be dope because his armor was super cool. But Gideon's a biblical figure.
Yep.
He's one of the judges in the nation of Israel. So they didn't have any government at that time. It's just God tells a couple of people, hey man, people are messing up. You got to go talk to them. They're messing up.
Yep.
So Gideon is very curious. He's very inquisitive. So even God's like, hey, do this. And he's like, well, I don't understand 100% what you want me to do. Can you explain a little more? Can you show me a little of this? Can you show me a little of that? So he asks questions. And those are qualities that I like. And if it's okay to ask God, if you don't know, if you don't understand, if it's okay to ask him, then it's okay to ask anybody.
Yep.
So I just heard a good quote from a buddy of mine. He said, when you're looking for information, ask 5 whys.
Yep.
You might not need all 5, but if you're trying to drill down on a situation, you're trying to understand more, it's okay to ask. And if you can do it about 5 times, that should bring you to the information you need.
Yep. I've definitely heard of that strategy, I guess you could call it, before. And you definitely, from my experience around you, you definitely live up to wanting to know more from people, and I kind of like doing that too if I have the time. but yeah, I do like that quality, so that's pretty cool.
Good for us, especially as like when we're children, we have that, right? Why is the sky blue and all that?
Yeah.
And then when we kind of get to be like teenagers, it's more like trying to get out of a situation. Well, why? So to try to get that youthfulness back as an adult, that's a good thing.
Yep, definitely. So was it just the little notification on your phone that drew you to the game, or what drew you to starting to play?
What I played before this was a Future Fight. So that's more of a action RPG, I guess you could say. But the turn-based strategy, like that stuff I love. Like I love that from way back. And I didn't know that Marvel Strike Force was necessarily going to be that. But I said, hey, new game, I'll try it out. And then when that was the case, I was playing Future Fight. That was my main game. You know how it is. You got a main game, and maybe you got some other stuff that you're doing. So Future Fight was my main game. And then in about 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, man, Strike Force that's going to be my main game.
Yep.
So I'll play that primarily and play the other one if I have time. Okay. And it got to the point where I didn't have any more time.
Nice. Yeah, isn't it Future Fight? Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but isn't it more like a fighting game, like kind of like Mortal Kombat type style, or?
Oh,
or maybe that's Contest of
that's Contest
Champions.
of
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. So I guess maybe I've never seen Future Future Fight. Yeah. Now I'm getting them mixed up in my head.
There's a lot of them right now, man.
Yep.
There's about 5 Marvel games out there, so
Yep. Well, what keeps you wanting to play the game at this stage? Been playing for so long.
again, it's just kind of my jam. It's the style of game that I like, and I'm still having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as there's it's carrot on a stick, so it's never gonna stop per se. So as long as I'm still having fun, they got content that I can try to. I'm that guy. Like I want to build on my dudes. I want to see the daily progress. I want to see if I'm scoring a little bit more every day as my teams get a little bit stronger.
Right.
And right now, that's good for me.
Right.
You know, I know that everybody's a little different, but that's good for me right now. So as long as that keeps happening and it doesn't get too monotonous, then I'm gonna stick with it.
Yep. Awesome. Good to hear. So is there any character that's not in the game that you'd like to see?
Couple. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say a couple.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So like the Summers family. Maybe this guy. Maybe that guy right there. So like Havoc and I forgot the dude's name. Vulcan.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And even maybe more of that Summers family, so they could get in the crosshair and do the Star Jammers.
Yep.
I know there's a comic book right now where they're doing, it's a version of a Rachel Summers, so it's a Scotty.
Okay.
So it's a version of Rachel Summers, so maybe even that route. And on the other side of the coin, a group that I really liked when I was younger was the New Warriors. So I know we got a couple of them in the game.
Yep.
But like Speedball, Justice, Night Thrasher, like those dudes I really enjoyed when I was young. So if they could bring some of those guys to the game, that would be dope.
So was Cloak and Dagger actually part of the New Warriors in the comics, or?
I'm not the strongest in comic knowledge. I don't have recollection of them being part of the New Warriors that I saw.
Okay.
Growing up, I think maybe they would make some crossovers. I could be mistaken. Somebody can correct me on that. But most of the time, at least when I was reading it, I didn't see Cloak and Dagger as part of that team. They were kind of their own thing, and would segue into other people's stories.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never read any of the comics, so I have no idea. I always like asking questions of people who have read the comics, so it's just kind of interesting to me a little bit. So,
no, it's good. Got to ask those questions.
Yep,
5 wise.
Exactly. Yep. So, what is your favorite game mode or modes right now?
Right now, I'm gonna say raids, just because I like the PvE content, and again, trying to score better every day as the teams come out.
Yep.
And Alliance War
is
also probably because again, it's team content,
right?
And after you start getting up there, I mean, our Alliance is aggressive. They're aggressive. My leader says we lose no matches, even though there's no way you can win. He says you play to win anyway. So it's just good. Even again, we'll talk a little bit more about it later, maybe. But it's good content. It's with the Alliance. You're trying to figure out, well, how do we get through this? Have you seen that defense before? No, I've never seen it. What'll work? What won't work?
Yep.
And it just keeps the conversation going.
Nice. Cool. Well, shameless plug. I just updated my war graphics, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out.
It's good stuff.
Good segue there. Let's see. What about?
Take the hype.
Yeah, Flint in chat is a big war fan, so he is hyped that Gideon is a war fan as well.
Well, maybe I can learn something from you cats. I mean, you guys are doing big over here. I could definitely get some tutorial. I need some assistance.
Yep. Nice. We can definitely help with that. But why don't we talk about, can you maybe summarize your journey to becoming a content creator? I know before we recorded here, you said you got quite an explanation here. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
All right. You need a drink, if you need some popcorn, if you need to use the bathroom, now's the time to do it. Right? We got a rant coming. It's gonna be good. It's important. I'm gonna try not. I mean, I don't know how much time you got. I'm gonna try not to go
long we
nuts,
need.
but it's important, I think.
Yep.
All right. So it's kind of like a story, right? So you go to the movies and there's this prologues. In the prologue, the foundation basically is my family. So it's legacy, right? I'm not making money off of Marvel Strike Force. Doesn't matter if I do. Like, we live in a digital age. Just want to do videos and stuff like that. Like that stuff just is gonna last, right? So my children, my grandchildren, they'll be able to see that. They'll get the legacy. There's I don't want to say like hidden messages, but like phrases, some of the phrases and stuff that I use, it's the same stuff that I told my kids. It's the same stuff my grandkids are hearing, so they understand what that stuff means, you know.
Okay.
Just had a really nice conversation with two of my sons. I got 4 kids.
Okay.
2 of my sons the other day, and they both kind of said, hey, we were just talking about when you said this. Hey, we were just talking about when you said that, and they're passing that on to the next generation. And like, that's super cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Right? Like, that's like the real stuff.
Yep.
So folded up inside of that, right, is do hard things. I don't know much about tech, right? I'm asking you questions on how to even get on here, right?
Yep.
So we're learning.
Yep.
We're learning. And again, that's still a message to them. Do hard things, you know, figure it out, learn, show your humility. You don't know everything. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. So
then as we get into the actual content, I just want to approach it from this angle real fast.
Sure.
How's it gonna put this? Okay, so my alliance, hardcore, go after everything. We don't need pings much. Some people spend money, some people don't. The boss just expects you get your stuff done.
Yep.
Hardcore.
Yep.
If I gotta ping you, that's a problem.
Yep.
But we all know what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
We played against Nemesis Gaming, his alliance.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of his alliance. I can't remember.
Well, it was Boopy, but I don't know where he's at now. I know they disbanded. So.
Oh man. Okay. Well, they were hard, bro.
Yeah.
Every defense they had was a hybrid defense. Oh, hey, does this character influence the team? Does that character influence the team? Yes, no. You know, we learned that. We lost. They dog walked us, but we learned, and we were able to incorporate some of those hybrids into the way we play. We ended up playing another alliance. They were like top 26 at the time.
Wow.
They were maxed. All their dudes were maxed. They were all cookie cutter defenses though, but they were all maxed. So we lost, but we learned how far, right? Can you punch up?
Right. Yep. Yep.
How far do the actual punch ups go? So in line with that, part of my how I got into content creation, because one size doesn't fit all, right? So if someone was to make a video top 10 Alliance War defenses, which is fine, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
The Big Dog Alliance actually would have used it more than I thought they would. Nemesis guys at the time, they might have looked at it a little bit, but they would not have used it.
Yeah.
And my alliance, we'll say 50-50. Okay?
Okay, yep.
So everybody's an engaged player.
Right.
But information can and cannot be used depending on who you are. You're going to use it differently.
Yep.
Okay?
True.
There's no one size fits all. So, same line, but now we're going to take it to the beginning. We go to the beginning of the game. When the game started, you're still going to have those differences. People are going to be spenders.
Right.
People are going to play for free. People are going to play casual. They're going to play hardcore, and there's going to be different levels of all of that.
Yep.
And the player voice, for example, acknowledges 5 spending buckets. Sometimes that translates into your play style, but they look at the community in one way through spending. So 5 buckets of that.
Right.
So if we go to the beginning of the game 6 years ago, and we take that little 5 bucket metric, bring it up to today, that's 5 times 30 dirty, or 5 times 6 dirty math is 30. So in my mind, there's 30 different strata of players in the community.
Okay.
And you don't have to stay in that. You're not locked in there, right?
Right. Right.
If you do some research, right, you spend some money, spend some more time, you go up. If you want to do a little less, take a break, you go down.
Yep.
Research helps. So if you go ahead and look at Updog, right, he got the war counter sheet.
Yep.
You can use that. He has multiple counters on there, tries to give you the best ones. It's good stuff. If you're here talking to these guys, so like you got Flint in here, you got Zero in here, old timey gaming, guys talk with the seer.
Yep.
Forgive me if I'm missing anybody, but like, you guys get together and brainstorm and come up with stuff to win.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm bringing all that out is because that's all the positive, right? That's the positive. That's good. That's what the game should be about.
Yeah.
The problem that I have, and the thing that got me one day to get up and start doing this, is that one size fits all approach sometimes can be too pervasive, and people get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? If good information is good, then bad information can be bad.
Right.
Right? And the people are playing at different levels.
Yep.
So I was in this alliance where like Doom was just coming on the scene, start having your teams, your bio mystic tech and all that. That was the first wave where that stuff happened.
Yeah.
Symbiotes were the original bio team.
Yep.
They were going to get replaced. They got replaced by the web warriors.
Yeah.
Okay? And now you heard people start saying, certain people, I'm not going to say any names, but an individual, let's say they're a content creator, maybe they're big on Twitch, maybe they're on YouTube, maybe they're on Reddit, maybe they're on Instagram, wherever you find them.
Yep.
And they're saying you can skip the web warriors. Symbiotes are working.
Okay.
Now, I'm a gamer.
Yep.
I know that there's no way the company is going to give you a team and let you just use the old one. The stronger difficulty is coming.
Yep.
And you're going to be in trouble. And about a third of the alliance I was in at that time, they bought in, they skipped. Well, so-and-so said you don't have to. So-and-so said you didn't have to build them. And so then we got to the next evolution of the raid. We couldn't perform.
Couldn't clear it. Yep.
Couldn't perform. Couldn't clear it.
Yep.
That guy didn't have to pay any penalty because he's a spender.
Yep.
He has the characters. He's not missing out. He doesn't, right?
Right.
So now as a free-to-play player, I'm jammed up because this dude said something.
Yep.
And he doesn't have to pay the price. Okay?
Yep.
I'm also a recruiter. So now I'm in the recruitment. We're trying to get more people. We're trying to get more people. We're trying to get more people. And then I find out it's not just my alliance, right? All these people we're trying to get in. Hey, do you have the web warriors?
Yep.
No. So-and-so said I didn't have to build them. Okay? So now it's bigger than that. So now all these people that are free agents in their alliance, it's not just me, right?
Yep.
The reason why those guys are all free agents is because their alliance got rid of them because they need somebody that can do it.
Yeah.
And it's every day recruiting. And one day, right, you're jammed up.
Yeah.
And that guy doesn't have to, again, he doesn't have to pay that price. So even though there were those of us in the alliance who are showing you, bro, this is what you can do. You can win with this. You're stuck here. You can win if you have this team. It doesn't matter because that dude's voice is louder.
Right. Yep.
So I'm recruiting and it's not going well and I'm frustrated. I'm on vacation and I'm in bed on vacation with my wife and I'm recruiting. I could have been probably doing something else, but I'm recruiting. And that's when I'm like, you know what? This is messed up.
Yeah.
Put the phone down. The next day I told my boss, my alliance leader, hey man, I'm out. And I end up going to these guys, turnaround crew that's part of Team Superfly.
Okay.
And they played the game the way I like to play, like I said.
Yep.
And it's been going good.
Cool.
But again, so that was a long story. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, it kind of reminds me also of if people remember like when we're waiting on Death Seed, right? And everybody's like, oh, I'm not gonna build my mutant team any higher because we got this mutant team coming. And it was like, I don't know, 6 months that people didn't build their mutant team because they were just waiting on another team to come out. So
that's it. That's exactly it. That's 100% what I'm talking about. So did I save anything by waiting for 6 months? How much could I have got by 100%ing the raid for 6 months?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
In my resources. Okay? So that's the stuff that bothered me. And one day it just bothered me enough. We can go into more details if you want. But one day it just bothered me enough. I had some changes in my life and I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to be the baddest dude to ever do it. And I know that that's a tall ask. But it takes time. It takes energy. It takes effort. But that's my goal, is to have a louder voice for regular folks who like to grind, who like to play this game, who want to play and have fun, be challenged, be hardcore. And if you're free to play and don't want to be challenged with hardcore, I want there to be space 100% for that group too. But we got to stop the crybabies who are getting all the press.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna say, this is gonna be controversial. This in no way reflects Updog and his associates. But let's take the new release method, right? We gotta look at everything that went into that. Right now, I don't know if anybody's following my account. I'm free to play. I got the Annihilators, the 3 new Annihilators, so far the Sentinel, and now we're starting to chew on Nimrod. But so far, the test is showing you can get it in 3 weeks. Free to play. Not 2 months.
Yeah.
Not 2 months. So the people, once again, they're freaking out. People that not free, they're not even free to play. People.
Yep.
They're not even free to play. They're freaking out about what I'm doing, man. Like, bro, if you are an engaged player, if you listen to all the information, we were on that call, Updog. That call was an hour and a half long.
Yep. It was.
And people are grabbing a 20-second piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I know I told my viewers.
That's what got me up and running.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there.
Sorry.
No, that's so good. I was just gonna say that, you know, I know I told my viewers with that topic, the new character availability, that, you know, we just need to wait and see, and wait it out, see how it turns out. If it's a month and we don't have the characters unlocked, then we need to start sharpening our pitchforks a little bit. But yeah, knee-jerk reactions are just way too high, I guess, in this game. But
agreed. And you got to do that, man. Because if that's what happens, if it turns out that, hey, man, it's been a month and it's weird, it's not good, at least now you have evidence, you have information, you can share that and show what's going on.
Yep.
And then changes can be made. But just freaking out off of some stuff that you heard, like, that's not good. And I'm, like I said, I feel very strongly about that stuff. It makes me very angry, and that's why you see me sometimes I question and I push back.
Yep. And
it is what it is. That's gonna keep happening.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Don't stop doing that, because that's the way we can make some changes. But that's pretty interesting that you basically kind of got fed up early and wanted to make your voice heard, and that's great. I like that.
Their voice is such a great thing, man. I mean, people say they're not doing nothing, but they help put together the release cadence.
Yep.
There's a lot of other things that they've done that might not be as flashy, like helping out with the new player experience.
Yep.
You know, communicating. So some changes, right? We know the communication has been better with Scopely. Changes can happen quickly if you have some evidence. If you have, again, that's the main point. If you've thought about what you want to say and you're able to compile it in a manner that's adult and it is going to hit the benchmarks you need, they listen to that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
And so I just encourage people, again, the knee-jerk reactions aren't good. The crybaby's not good. We got to be adults about this. We got to be men. We got to be women.
Yep.
Got to be adults and get stuff done. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. The emotion is good to help you understand that you need to do something, but you can't act with the emotion.
Right.
You take the emotion, use that as fuel for what you need to do. It might take you a step away, 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
But then you come back. Here's the information that I was trying to share. You're able to present it, and people can get behind that.
Yep. Exactly. Very well said. So what about do you have a brief recap for us on your history with gaming? Like, when did you start gaming? What game was it, or system, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Hey man, been going since way back, bro. So ColecoVision, Ari, like I liked all that stuff when I could get my hands on it. I didn't really own one, but other people had them. I like that stuff. And then we did end up getting, my brother and I got a younger brother, Nintendo Entertainment System.
Nice.
So obviously you start out with the regular games, Super Mario and all that, but the stuff that like really got me was like I said, some turn-based strategy, man. It's like Final Fantasy, Dragon Warrior,
nice.
Ultima. I think that was one. Ultima.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting one. Here's a deep cut. It's called Dragon Force.
Oh.
And I think it's on the Sega Saturn.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Deep cut, man.
That was a RPG too, or
It was like a strategy game.
okay,
So you kind of like had 100 soldiers, and they would kind of like you could give them orders, and they would meet in the board in the middle on the board, and then you're the commander. Think of kind of like a Dragon Ball Z guy, like Vegeta or
okay,
whatever.
okay,
You're this commander, so you can just like come in and do super moves, blow up
nice.
the regular guys. But there's a commander on the other side too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to get enough of your troops to survive,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can get over to the commander, and they can help nickel and dime while you do your super moves, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But
So you're the
it was
old.
pretty.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it was pretty dope.
Nice, nice. So you were the older brother. Did you let your younger brother win, or were you one of those older brothers that would just win all the time, no matter what?
No, we didn't let him win, but like, again, this was like, okay, so I don't know if you heard of like, so baseball stars, and then it was Tecmo Bowl, and then it was like Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we would start seasons. And it was buddies, right? So we had buddies in the area, and like we'd fill up. So 8 people, it's baseball stars,
Right.
8 teams. Fill up as much as you can on a roster on Tecmo, and we would just play
Nice.
tournaments. So whoever's turn it was, those 2 would play.
Yep.
And then the rest of us, we'd be outside doing whatever, kickball, whatever. And then
Yeah.
the game would come out, would be over, and them dudes would come out and be like, hey, it's you guys'
Yep.
turn.
Gideon,
2
your
people
turn.
Go back in. Get in, it's your turn. We go back in. It was good. We had a little box of donuts when we started getting a little older, making some money. Had a little box of donuts. If you shut somebody out,
Nice.
got a donut, man.
Nice. That's
Great.
awesome. Yep, definitely brings me back to some of my days growing up playing as well. So that's awesome.
Good times, man. It's good times.
Yep. We
I
need.
like this is the other side. I like tabletops too. We've been playing those for a long time.
Nice.
Tabletop
Okay.
players, board games, turn-based.
Cool.
It's all the same stuff. Been doing that again, same deal since I was little.
Yep.
So
Okay. Nice.
it's all part of it.
That's something I never got into. I did play like Magic the Gathering a little bit when I was growing up, but yeah, it was mostly just either handheld like Game Boy or whatever, or consoles. So.
It's a good time.
Yes, definitely was. Yeah, especially playing the Game Boy and having everybody sitting all around in a circle and be like, "Oh, where are you at? What are you doing? How do you do this?" You know.
That is cool, man. I didn't have a whole lot of Game Boys, but like that, like that kind of stuff that you do it with friends.
Yep.
Like that's the good stuff, man. Whatever it is, whatever your hobby is, when you're doing it with other people and you're having fun, that's where the good stuff is.
Yep. Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more of that in Marvel Strike Force. That'd be pretty awesome. But I digress here. So what about you want to have any other like real life interests that you want to talk about, or outside
sure.
of gaming?
Yeah, I mean, people can ask questions, but like, so maybe I don't know this. How am I gonna say this? Slightly immature topic, but so mental health, right? Mental health, physical health, just health and wellness, any of that stuff, right? So another small story. My daughter, she had a little group, little like kid party, and she's doing the right thing, and she invited some special needs children to also come be at the kid party. So we have another couple that can't have any children, and so they started fostering. And they send us this picture ahead of time of this kid, and they're like, "Hey, when we get there, there's no crying. You can't cry. We're sending you this picture right now. You got to cry. You get it out now before we get there. When we get there, we don't want no crying." So this kid, I don't think this kid was 4 years old, up dog. And he had broken arm, broken leg, black eye, marks on his wrist from being restrained, and he's on his way. So people are crying, and they get there, and women, they cover their, they get there, women, they cover their mouth and walk away because they don't want to cry because they were told not to, and the dudes were trying to be tough and look, and this kid, my daughter, she got this dog, and he wants to pet the dog, but he only got one arm up, dog. So I'm like taking this tiny dog. I'm like, here. I'm like, I'm moving the dog. He put his hand on it, I'm moving the dog. I'm like, man, this is messed up. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, again, kind of what we were talking about before, we have an emotion in this case, anger, as a man, and that's not the right way to go about it.
Yeah,
it's not the right way to go about it. So, as men, sometimes especially, it's hard to get assistance when you need assistance. We don't like going to the doctor. We definitely don't want to go see the mental doctor. But you got to do whatever you got to do to be what you need to be.
Yeah.
So go get your checkups. Nothing wrong with going to see a therapist. I got to go see one, man. I got to go see one. All right? I've been. We can talk more about that if you want, but I've been. You got to do what you got to do to be the best as you can be, to pass on what is good and not what is bad.
Yep.
Emotions are good. They help us to move forward, but we can't let the emotion dictate the action.
Yeah.
The emotion tells you that you should act, but you got to wait till the mind can get engaged to know how to act.
Yep. Good advice. I like that.
Trying to be real men and women out here, man.
Yep. So is that the kind of stuff? I guess I haven't really watched a lot of your stuff. I watched some of your stuff, but I know when you have those podcasts, is that kind of some of the topics you talk about sometimes, or?
We definitely try to throw those in when we can, and I need to do a little bit more on just the videos. Can't go overboard, but like I do have I'm just at that point in life, right? So, like I said, I'm a grandfather now.
Yep.
So you start getting that old man vibe, like, you know how it is. It's the grumpy old man. Well, there's a reason why it's grumpy. You switch gears, and I don't want to say you lose your filter, but you switch gears and you realize, hey, man, we got to pass on these nuggets. You can't be afraid to say it. You're not trying to hurt feelings. You're not trying to be gross and aggressive. There's a difference between being mean and being honest, right? Like, people sometimes confuse the two.
Yeah.
But when you got to say what needs to be said, sometimes you just got to say it and be able to then stand there and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And we try to talk about those things when appropriate.
Yep. So chat, we're gonna take some questions from you now. The first one I'm gonna start off with, and then you guys can, if you've already asked it, just go ahead and post it again. But I will start off with Gideon. Do you play Marvel Champions?
I need to be. I don't know if this is the newest one. This is the last one I got, but yeah, man, we play Champions.
Nice.
You can't see it. I gotta see it.
It is the most recent one, Darth says. Yeah.
So yeah, man, we play Champions. I need to. We haven't been hitting it as hard. We've been sort of getting into United. It's not really my jam, but the rest of my dudes really like it. So been playing that.
Nice.
But I really like Champions a lot. I like co-op type games.
Yep. Cool. Never played it, but I might have to look into it.
It's a collectible, not a collectible card game. It's a deck builder.
Ah, okay. Cool.
So there's those kind, and there's always, the new dudes come out every couple weeks.
Yep.
So there's always a new set, but
cool. Kevin Sanity says Bases Loaded is the best baseball game. I've never played that one. Have you?
That was good times, man.
It was, okay.
That was good times. I do remember it. That was good. I got memories. Bases Loaded is good.
Let's see.
I think that was more like an arcade style, if I remember.
Okay. Also, Kevin said Secret of Mana on the SNES. I remember hearing about that game, but I never played it.
It's a deep cut, man. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. Yeah. Yes. And you could play, right? That was one you could do multiplayer.
Oh,
that's what made it dope.
Nice.
That made it dope.
And that was a big deal back then.
For sure.
Although on SNES, I think there was, there's quite a few multiplayer games. Like I remember playing Street Fighter and let's see what else. Like Yoshi. There's like a Yoshi game or something I remember playing back on SNES. I didn't have one. I had to go play it at my uncle's house.
That's how it goes, man.
Yep. And then my neighbor down the street had Sega, and I had the regular NES, so it's like we had to go all around to these different houses and play our games.
No, it's good. It's good. Oh, I pushed something.
That's how we socialized back then.
See some good ones in the chat, man. Clay Fighter, Killer Instinct.
Don't remember either of those.
Holyfield, Real Deal Boxing.
I remember
Could
playing
you
Punch
make
Out.
a guy on that? Like if that was one you could make up your own guy, then I'm pretty sure we played it. But I don't recall.
Flint says Star Wars or Marvel. See a mix of both. What do you mean, Flint?
And if you're asking me, I like it all, bro. I like it all. You know,
Mix of both in the background. No. This is all Marvel Strike Force stuff.
Mine.
Oh, your background.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. No, I like it all, bro.
I'm sure you.
My Hero Academia.
Well, yeah. What did you start out liking first? Did you start out with Star Wars, or did you start out liking Marvel first, or was it just kind of both?
I think it all came the same, man. Like Transformers, GoBots, Marvel stuff, Star Wars, like all that stuff just kind of showed up around the same time. And Mask, anybody remember that? Mobile Armored Strike Command,
No.
Thundercats.
Thundercats, I know Thundercats. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Cuts.
Yep. Because for me it was Star Wars. I was just obsessed with Star Wars, and then Marvel didn't really come into my life until I started watching the movies. I didn't watch them, when they came out in theaters. I probably started watching them like a year or so before Infinity War came out, I think it was. And so I rented them from like my library, or if they were on a streaming service or something, I just watched them all the way through, like the timeline of how the movies in the chronologically, I guess. And so
How they released?
No, like how in the storyline how they would go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I found Marvel Strike Force, and I was like, ooh, this looks kind of fun. I like turn-based stuff, so. And here I am almost 5 years later, so.
Boom.
Yep.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Yes. Yes, Kevin. Yes. Love that stuff, bro. Ate that stuff up. Dude. We would do that. I mean, I think there was one. It might have been like Nobunaga. There was one. I can't remember. It might have been Romance. Same deal where you could like make your own dude and like multiple people could play.
Nice.
And so think of, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, think of like Civilization maybe.
Oh yeah, I love the Civilization series.
You're just trying to take over the world, man.
Yep.
Or in this case, it's just China or Japan. But you're trying to take over, bro.
Now you're a big sports fan, right? Basketball and football, I know for sure.
I dabble. I'm not super big.
Okay. Did you ever play any of the sports games too, like basketball, Madden, 2K?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
My kids, Double Dribble was probably the thing when I was younger. NBA Live was the basketball when I was growing up.
Yep.
And then my kids, like 2K, they just went nuts on that, man.
Yeah. Oh,
they love that.
Yep.
That's when you start feeling, you realize you're getting, it sounds dumb, but you realize you're getting older. Like the twitch just like isn't there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're playing first person shooters or whatever you're doing, and you're getting crushed by dudes that are younger. Like you're better. You know you're better than them. You got more stuff. But your reaction time is just that hair difference. And that's when I started to notice that when we're playing like I said 2K and stuff. Like I understand basketball a lot better. And this is becoming more of a competition than it needs to be.
Yeah, I used to be pretty big into Madden, me and my friends, and they moved away, and we all had kids and stuff, so it's like, well, I kind of wish I would play Madden again, but I don't know. probably wouldn't be as good at it.
Did you try the new college football?
No, I didn't, but I've heard good things.
I haven't tried it. One of my boys got it. It looks cool, but
Yeah.
I haven't personally tried it.
Yep. Zero says NBA Jam. Yep, I liked NBA Jam a lot. That was
good times.
good. And then
He's on fire.
yeah. And then Mutant League Football. That sounds familiar. I never played that one, but I did like the NFL Blitz games. Those are fun.
Boom, shakalaka. I like it. Yeah, Blitz was fun. I think I did play Mutant League Football. We would rent whatever,
Yeah.
Game store was up the street, like 3 blocks. So or the video store.
Yep.
So we'd go try we'd go try it, man.
Yep. Yeah, for those who don't know, you had to go to a store and go pick out your game, and if they had it in stock, then you would pay money to play it and have to return it in like 2-3 days. That's how the old days worked.
Look at my day.
Sounds like the Stone Age. Well, let's chat. Got a couple more minutes here to come up with some questions. And then I got 2 more, and then we'll let Gideon go here. Where does Young Avengers rank on your list of favorite characters, and why isn't it number 1?
Oh, Marvel Young Avengers. No rank high on my list, bro. But I mean, they were cool. They were cool when they came out. I was happy to have them in the game. They performed well in war and whatnot. Like I liked to have them. You could mix and match. They were the formidable defense.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Who's your favorite Young Avenger?
As far as Marvel Strike Force, I gotta be honest, at this point, I'm not even sure who's on the team. So I guess the default answer has to be Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel. Yep.
Comic wise, it's been a minute. I don't know if Young Avengers were a thing when I was super into comics. I'm a lot less now, but
Yeah.
so I don't even know who'd be on the Young Avengers right now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there'll be a movie here at some point in the future.
We're hoping.
Yep.
We're hoping.
I mean, Squirrel Girl's pretty good pick. I heard she can beat Thanos and a bunch of other people.
Oh man, yeah. Yep, she just has that. I don't know what the power would be. Weird luck.
Yeah. Unbeatable power. Squirrel Girl
Unbeatable.
single-handedly beat
He's not
Thanos.
doing
Yeah, there
anything.
you go. Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's what I heard.
It's just like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon, man. She's just tying her shoe and a meteor comes down or whatever and lands on the guy. Like,
So, do you watch much of the MCU stuff, or?
I do, man. I try to keep up.
So, is
Best I
there
can.
any projects you're looking forward to? Or any movies, shows?
I don't do wizards, so I'm opting out on Agatha. A little disappointed, but that's what happens this time of year. But so then the next main project, man, whatever's coming next, I think it's Captain America.
Yep.
New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
So
excited about that one?
hopefully, I just want it to be good, bro. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a blockbuster. It doesn't have to be epic. I just don't want it to be trash.
Yeah.
I just want it to be good. So looking forward and hoping that it is.
Which name a movie or two that you weren't really impressed with, I guess, to compare it, like, so you could compare it. Like, I don't want Captain America: New World Order to be like this movie.
Well, the worst one was the Marvels.
The Marvel.
And
Okay.
like, I'm not blaming the actresses. Like, they did their job. They acted like, I don't understand. Like, what am I trying to say? So again, we'll just think about our youth. So I'm thinking when they were advertising the movie, I'm thinking like when my kids growing up, they watched the Powerpuff Girls or Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with Dragon Ball Z. So in my mind, I thought it was going to be something like that. But no, not even close.
Yeah.
And like the bad guy, like Dar-Ben, like I just like hope there's no spoilers. I mean, the movie been out for a minute, but
Yeah.
there's no spoilers. But like basically, she gets punched in the mouth by Captain Marvel early in the movie. One punch knocked out. And then at the end of the movie, she's fighting 3 Captain Marvels and winning. And there's really not a good explanation for how this is happening. I mean, it's kind of inferred,
right?
But there's not a good explanation for how this is happening. And like, I don't know, again, My Hero Academia, they obviously focus on the heroes, but it's like 60-40. Like you see the villains doing what they do. You see them plotting, you see them training, you see them getting stronger, so that when they meet, you're expecting you're expecting something to happen.
Yeah.
And however way it goes, you at least you understand what went into it. But with that, there was just so much that so much in the movie didn't advance. It didn't do anything. It didn't advance the plot. It didn't advance the story.
Right.
It's just what is happening. My wife tapped out before me. She turned to me and was like, I think I don't want to watch the rest of this movie. Like, oh.
That was it was a big deal for me. Kind of along the same lines with what was it, Quantumania, when Kang is supposed to be this big badass character, and then Ant-Man just sucks him into some kind of portal or something. Like, how the heck does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, he's dog walking everybody, and then all of a sudden, he can't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. I don't see any more questions, but I do have one last one for you. So, speaking of movies and shows and stuff, what is the best MCU villain and the worst MCU villain?
So Dar-Ben was the worst. I explained kind of how that was. And again, I'm not blaming the actress. I just think I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
How do you sit down and pitch this when you had an amazing? You're right. You have a character that's relatively unknown, doesn't have a whole lot of story in a comic. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what you chose to do.
Yep.
Okay. So the best, I guess the easiest answer is going to be Thanos. So I won't say that.
Yeah. Everybody says that when I ask them that question.
I'll cop out and say I'll cheat. So I'm going to say Killmonger and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Because they're both right. So Captain America and the Black Panther are essentially the same dude. They're essentially the same person as characters, just from different perspectives. And their bad guys, their villains are the same way.
Yeah.
Right. There's familial connection, there's friend, and it's has that whole dichotomy of like, it's one of those things, just like, what if things were different?
Right.
What if, right, you had different choices? What if you had different opportunities? Would that change who you were? Would that change how you see the world? Would that change, right? And and I think in both those movies, those characters played that role so well.
Yeah.
Like they started off in a similar place in a sense and ended up so different. And I just thought both those actors, they played that role so well. It was good. I'm not gonna say you felt for the bad guy, but you felt like, yeah, this is a bad guy.
Yeah, true. All right, well, let's see. Oh, somebody said, Remenek says MODOK he thought was the worst villain. I don't know if he's really a villain. I don't know.
Where was MODOK? Where was he?
In Quantumania.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of like a sidekick to Kang, I guess.
Yeah, they did him dirty. Remenek's in the house. What is up, bro?
All right. Well, I don't see anybody else with any questions. So thanks for joining me, Gideon. I appreciate it. You want to tell people how we can see your content?
Yeah, man. Most of the time, you're just gonna catch me on YouTube, GideonXL, MSF. I don't have the browser with me, but if you look it up on YouTube, you'll see me. That's what I'm mostly doing. I can't do Twitch as much because my schedule moves around, and you need a dedicated schedule for Twitch.
Yep.
But yeah, man, check me out. Hey, spread the word. If a brother can get like 80 more subs, a guy can start getting some nickels and dimes on YouTube.
Nice. Yep. Go sub to Gideon if you haven't already. Now, what about your podcast? Is that done on YouTube too, or?
Yep, we do the podcast live on YouTube.
Okay.
So we do that there. Feel free to join in. Feel free to mention some topics, and we're definitely gonna have you on, Up Dog. We gotta get you on there.
Yeah, I know. That's with your schedule, my schedule is pretty crazy, but I'm glad you're able to join us here tonight. And thanks again. And yeah, any last things you want to say?
Hey,
we head out?
thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah.
And you guys keep doing what you're doing. What you guys are doing here is amazing. Keep it up. Keep grinding. And yeah, don't let anyone stop you, man. Keep pushing.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Take care of yourself.
Yep.
Peace.
Yep.